Hello, yes, it's Sunday night, and I have no idea what time it is in your part of the world, and I have no idea if I'm later or earlier than I usually am, or is it the same time? Because the clocks changed in the UK last week, and I forgot about it, and I forgot that has an impact on you. So, hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Let's effing go. In that spirit, Malene FPV, I am wearing a t-shirt in that spirit. So let's go. Hello, I hope you are all safe and well. It is Sunday night. Oh, I've got a dog here on the side of me. It is 3:30 a.m. here. Wow, that is early. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about a lot of things to talk about tonight, actually. First of all, we're going to talk a little bit about some sales that are happening because some things are starting to get discounts. I wonder why that would be. I wonder why things like the Caddx Vista could start in and the Runcam Link be starting to get discounts. We're going to talk about... What else are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about the further leaks and sort of unboxing of the new goggles that are coming from DJI this week. They are due to release this week, as I understand it. We are going to talk about some iFlight goggles. And these have sort of slipped under people's radar, but they are around. We are going to talk about some cool things that I've seen this week, as well as a few other things that will come up along the way. Now, I'm just waiting for my cup of tea to arrive. Now, I think I'm on this microphone tonight. I hope the audio is good. I believe I'm on this one. I'm going to tap it so you can tell me. Microphone A. Microphone B. I believe we're on microphone A tonight. Is the one I believe we're on. A, thought so. That means everything is working as I expected it to. But you're on this microphone tonight, and I don't know if it's better or worse than the other one. If I was any kind of real YouTuber, I'd have the ability to switch between them, but I haven't right now. So, and I forgot to set that bit up. The B is the room mic, whereas this is the close-up one. Anyway, oh, here comes my cup of tea. One moment, let me grab it. Two seconds. Oh, now I've got to get rid of the dog because the dog's decided to come in. Say hello to the dog. Go. Decided to come in as well. Too late, she's gone. The dog distracted me on that one. So, anyway, so it's time to get on with it. Okay. First thing we're going to talk about is, yes, this is the ASMR mic. First thing we're going to talk about is this quickly, and this is that discounts are starting to appear on things like the Caddx Vistas and things like this. Now, some of these are not big, some of these are not huge discounts, but they are starting to appear, and there are deals when you go in and start adding cameras. So this one is the Polar Vista kit for £71 in the UK, which is quite cheap, to say the least. You've got other discounts appearing on other ear units as well. O3 is starting to drop in other places too, but it does seem to be the case that deals are around and can be had. And it isn't just on AliExpress. It's in others. It is about the same as the holidays last year. But what I would say is this. I would expect this to be the end. Can we put it in US dollars? We can. shipped to United States. Let's have a look in US dollars. 107, which is okay. It's not the greatest, but I have started to see people say that there's discounts available in other places as well. But there's definitely what appears to be a bit of a sell-off of these older E units now. So that's quite cool to see. Nothing fantastic, but, you know, it's beginning to happen. Let's just say that. Now, it is probably worth shopping around a little bit and having a look just to see what is going on. And what I would say is this: do not expect the Vista to stay long now. With everything we know what is going on with 04 and 2E units, I think it's the end of the Vista now. Run cam link, all of these things. I think once production goes, it will go. I haven't really seen discounts from Runcam yet, but I think this is it now. We are definitely coming to the end of the line. Remember, DJI is in a transition with regards to chipset now as well. There's just no good reason for this to hang around anymore. So expect it to disappear is the term I would use on it. Now, might even be why Runcam are getting into OpenIPC. Yeah, you know, I think they know it's coming to an end. What will be interesting is if we see... What will be interesting is if we do see this relationship that has been around in the past sort of move out into some of the others. It'll be interesting to see if it does. Like it did in the past. So if Runcam maybe get a light, but I think DJI will be keeping 04 pretty much in-house now. So that's the likelihood. Now, whilst we're on DJI, it's probably a good time to come on to what is this, and it isn't that. We'll come on to that in a minute, which is the Goggles N3. Now, Jasper has been doing all of the rumors on this, and it seems like it was meant to launch this week, but it didn't, and it's down to officially launch next week. But it actually appears that it's been sold in Thailand as of now, and there is a full unboxing video. Let me mute the music because you'll be expecting some naked people to appear with that kind of music. But there is a full unboxing and a proper look over the goggles here. They are big. When you start to see them in this video, they are definitely big is the term I'll use. There's a lot of depth on the front here, and that's partly because the 4.5-inch display is having to be... 3.5-inch display is having to be housed under there. The foam is really thick. Just look at the thickness of the foam. I think what makes these look a lot bigger than other box goggles is the width on them. So when you look here... they are really wide. Most of the sort of other box goggles, right, are not as wide as your head. If you think about the Goggles L and the smaller box goggles from Fat Shark and others, they're not as wide as your head. They tend to sit in like on the sides, whereas these goggles really do go around the side. You know, a video with music like this, you'd expect the camera to be tilted up a little bit more and the box to be out the way. But yeah, that's a different video. But they are big. They do look very, very big. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But if you know, look how much there is at the sides there. There is so much at the side. It even looks like it sticks out at the side. Or she is very, very small. Someone did say that when I posted this on Twitter. Or she is a very small person. I don't think she's particularly tiny in the sense of minuscule. But yeah, it is, I think, going to be a bigger old goggle. Now, it'll be interesting to see if it does get the $200 US price. This what we're whispering and hearing. Although, all of the noise that I have heard is that you will not be able to buy this as a standalone goggle this week. This goggle will only be available in this kit. That is what I have been told. Yeah, cracking set of lenses on them. I've been told that you are not going to be able to buy them on their own. That's and they're not going to be available on their own for some time. Which, it's weird, because why would you not make this available to existing Neo and Avata 2 users yet? Okay, it's always yet, but it just seems a bit odd that, okay, these are only going to work with the Avata 2 and Neo on day one, yet Avata 2 and Neo existing users won't be able to buy them. That's just a bit weird to me. That bit is. There will not be O3 support on these, and I don't believe there ever will be. Is as I understand it. Yeah, but they've added, the support is in them. You just can't buy them on their own. It makes, I suspect, this is what my suspicion is. My suspicion, the reason you won't be able to buy them on their own is these were meant to be basically launching alongside 04 now, and 04 has been pushed back till next year, it seems. I wouldn't be shocked if the materials that have been printed up with the boxes and everything have 04 written on them. And as a result of that, DJI are now sitting on a bunch of goggles with boxes with marketing material that lets a secret out of the bag. And it's not a secret, as we all know, but DJI is not really going to want to publish that. If manuals have been made already, if things like that have already been printed, I suspect it's some quirk along those lines, because it makes no sense to me, DJI not wanting to sell goggles to people who have already bought the Neo. It just, where is mine? Mine is here somewhere there. It just doesn't make sense. You know, there's loads of people who've already bought this. DJI want money. DJI likes money. DJI wants money. Why would DJI not sell product? I suspect there's some quirk like that. It's weird. Very weird. But look, it's going to be interesting to see if the 199 US rumor comes true. That is going to be incredibly cheap. Incredibly cheap. But let's see, you know. But there we go. It'd be interesting to see if the battery comes off as well. It's because what people are not going to want to do is go out and buy another Neo. That's for sure. We have had the package pricing, I think, €529 in Europe, so it'll be about 500 quid in the UK, maybe 499. And goggles, €269, Jasper was saying. So, yeah, you know, interesting. We're getting closer. We're getting a lot closer. The Neo is kind of disposable, yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're definitely... Look, I can absolutely see there being a cheap Avata 2 kit and a cheap Neo kit pretty quickly with these goggles in, just to try and cut the pricing down. Would these make a good spectator goggle for the Avata 2 Future 04 users? It's potentially yes. There is technically no reason this shouldn't spectate to the Goggles 3, but wait and see for people to test that before you run out and buy. I would expect, yes, you would be able to spectate these to a set of Goggles 3 for an Avata 2. I don't know if you will be able to spectate on the Neo, but let that stuff that needs testing. I would expect that to be one of the yeses. And then these goggles will get support for 04 on launch, as will Goggles 2, as will Goggles Integra. So 04 is going to work, it would appear, with the main goggles out the door. Is there info if 04 will be range locked like 03? No, there isn't info. It does look like it's a plug and play on the side of the battery. You are right, but I suspect this is a bit cheaper to do than what DJI was doing before. This is... I'm not convinced this unplugs. I suspect this hinges, but I bet this external cable was just cheaper to do than putting it through the harness like they did on the Goggles 2. You know, just a bit cheaper. Someone has said, if we upgrade our Goggles 2 to work with 04, will they lose support for the Vista? It's unlikely DJI will take modes off you. They've never taken modes off us before. So when DJI had support to Goggles 2 and Integra, that would just be another mode. I would not expect... I would not expect it to be something they take away. Someone said they can hear interference. I've got the audio level up a little higher tonight, and that's probably what you hear in a bit. I possibly need to tweak this setup a little bit more. Can G2 do 04? Yeah, it can with limitations. So, as I posted last week, someone posted this chart. Let me find this so I can clear this up. Okay. So, I posted this last week because someone had posted this on Facebook. So let me just find the message because it needs some context. Is what it does. Oh, did I not put it on Facebook? I might have only put it on my Discord. Did I not put this one out publicly? I may not have. Let me just find it. 2 seconds. Let me find it because this is quite important. I thought I'd posted this, but I might not have. Okay, so someone posted this, and his name is Martus Buren, or whatever, however you pronounce it. This person posted this on Facebook after last week's stream. Now, I said something in last week's live stream that sort of hinted at this, but no one picked up on it. There are times I tried to say things that I don't actually say. But look, so this person published this on Monday. But I had actually said something on Sunday, if you go back and listen, that the 04E unit is listed as compatible with the Goggles 2 and Integra. Now, this is technically correct. Our understanding at this moment in time is this. Okay, so this is the facts. There are people who are using the 04E units on Goggles 2 and Integra at this moment in time for testing. The information that I've seen tells me that DJI intend 04 at launch to work with 4 sets of FPV goggles. Goggles 2, Goggles Integra, Goggles 3, Goggles N3. All four will have support for O4. That is both air units, O4 and O4 Lite. However, there are trade-offs for using O4 on the older goggles. It is not as simple as you will get exactly the same performance on the older goggles as you will the new goggles. One of them, as Ben has already said, is you will be limited to 50 megabits a second max and not 60. There will be a latency penalty, and there will be certain new features that do not work on the Goggles 2 and Integra that will work on the Goggles 3 and the Goggles N3. There is overall support for the main system, but there are some new features that will come that will not be available on the older goggle. Now, as for one of the penalties is latency. So, the Goggles 3 will have the lowest latency period with the O4 system. Then there will be the Goggles N3, even though they're limited to 60 frames a second. And then there will be Goggles 3 and Integra. Expect that latency to be around 30 to 32 milliseconds at best on the Goggles 2 and Integra. We're not talking 50, we're not talking 60, we're talking about 30 to 32. So, that is what we believe will happen today, and I say believe, it's fairly solid. So, Goggles 2 and Integra users will get support, but there will be certain things that don't work. Now, we know there are 2 air units coming. Now, I also mentioned in the title of this about Inav OSD. Now, I'm going to be crystal clear on something. I have not been told anything from anyone to do with Inav, okay, with regards to this information. This information has not come from Inav. It has not come from anyone related to Inav, but I have been told that DJI intend to support Inav OSD. And that is something else that we believe is happening. Now, does that mean you're going to get Sneaky's fonts and everything? Wind yourself back a little bit on that. I wouldn't expect DJI to go as far as giving us everything we've ever wanted. But someone showed me something that hints at Inav OSD. So that is, I believe, basically happen. Yeah, definitely no custom fonts. Now, little birds have whispered something to me in the last few days, and this is the last thing I'm going to say on this subject, and I'm not really even going to say it. But I showed something, I put something up the other day, and little birds say, iNav users get ready. And I'm going to be ordering a load of 1S packs for the end of this year. Because I need some more 1S packs. Because I'm short of 1S packs. And I'm probably going to need a lot of 1S packs in the early part of next year. So if anyone can recommend some good 1S packs, I'd be interested. Because I need some 1S packs. It's not really a pack if it's one cell. Good point. Do I know a price estimate for 04? No. I'm hearing their plan is sub $200. Vape batteries. He's converting all of his drones to HDZero. Wait till the real leaks start. Then you guys will start blowing your mind. Right. We don't know. The N3, we think, we've heard whispers 199. It could be 249, could be 199. I am going to pee. Fair enough. Okay. Next, now, whilst we're talking about goggles, this appeared online today, and I don't know who posted this, so I can't give credit to it. This image appeared online today that got a lot of people excited. It looks like it's from some Chinese trade show from the look of it. And it is an image of iFlight goggles. Now, I've known about this for a very long time. In fact, I've known about this so long, I forgot that I knew about this. That's the truth of the matter. We actually discussed this on my Discord about May time this year. And the reason this first appeared was, this isn't the first time we've seen it. They actually showed it in their holiday notice months ago. When they released the R1, they also showed a picture, the R5, sorry. They also showed a picture of it here. And this was months ago, but basically everyone forgot about it. And it now seems... it now seems that it's available, or it's at least out there. Like, I've actually had this in a catalogue. Now, here's the image. This might get me into trouble, but oh well. I was sent a catalogue from iFlight months ago, and this was listed in it. And what it says is this: lightweight, ultra clear, and lightweight and comfortable, ultra clear enjoyment. iFlight's first goggles, iGoggles. Yes, they've called them iGoggles. It actually says iGoggles. Coming soon. Refresh rate, ultra binocular 1080p HD display. Interesting, that says display, not displays. Is that a single display in that? With refresh rates of up to 100 frames a second for smoother flight, weighing only 268 grams, lighter than a mobile phone, long wear without pressure, foldable antenna design, portable bag to carry, supports independent eye-up-to adjustment, la 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 la. Now, I believe this is an analog goggle. My belief is it's just an analog goggle. Yes, Ultra HD 1080p, because remember, full HD 1080p isn't good enough. You need Ultra HD 1080p. It's not quite as good as that Ultra HD 4K or 2138. I've lost 38. Ah, my brain is gone. 3840 by 21. What is it? 3840 by 21 something. 2160p, yeah, 2160. There it is. 3840 by 2160. Couldn't. My brain just went then. Yes. So they're definitely, you can't have that Ultra HD of 2160p, you've got to have the Ultra HD of 1080p. That's all gone wrong now. But yeah, look, I believe it's an analog goggle. That's all I know. I don't know anything about it other than this. Genuinely, I hope it's cheaper than the Sky Zone's 04X Pros. And I'll be honest, the 04X Pro are a bad buy. It's another goggle that they've made a mistake on the design on. Because whilst it's got 1080p displays, doesn't it not support 1080p via HDMI? Does it only support... If I'm right, doesn't the Sky Zone 04 Pro only support 720p input via the HDMI? I'm sure it does. And the point of 1080p for analog, I suspect that's more to do with the fact of 1080p displays are cheapest now. The reason you're seeing all of these goggles shift to 1080p, the Fat Shark shifted to 1080p, don't think that the Fat Sharks redid the HDO2s for no reason. It would have been just the case. It was cheaper for them from an optics and manufacturing point of view to buy the optics with 1080p displays. That's why they're all using 1080p displays, because it's the sweet spot on price. Fat Shark probably had the problem of they couldn't even get the optics and displays with the lower resolution. But look, I'd be interested in trying them out. They look interesting. Looks quite Transformer-ish, doesn't it, when you look at it? Also, that reminds me of Wiz Francis-y. Anyone know where Wiz Francis is? You can tell it's iFlight. It's a bloody another nice render. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the price is. Built-in receivers, obviously. So let's see what it's like. I don't know anything about it. I've also had a lot of people asking me about the HDZero budget goggles. I don't know anything. Genuinely, I don't know anything at all about the HDZero budgets. All I've heard is that the same thing you guys have heard. The way HDZero tend to do things is they have their very small group of testers. When they will post content before any review comes out, you generally find Ryan and a couple of the guys who have them, there's a very tight-knit bunch of the HDZero guys. They'll start posting content once they have them and they can share. I don't even know if I'll get a set to review. I don't know if it's worth spending the money. There's a borderline. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'd like to. I really would like to. But it's complicated. I bought the HDZero goggles. You see, you have to take a cut. I wasn't giving them for free. Carl wasn't able to give people goggles for free because of the cost. That, Carl learns at such small margins. Whether I could loan a set would be great. That would be a good opportunity. We'll just have to wait and see. I don't think they're anytime soon. The whispers I heard was they're going to be HDZero and analog, which is great. That would be phenomenal. For Carl to do HDZero and analog, really, really would be worth it. Little bit of audio breakup, possibly. It could be. Okay, someone's saying sense. So, look, that's all we really know about them. I don't even know if they're going to be sold in the UK. Are they listed on the website now? I don't even know if they are. Someone said they're listed on the site. Are they on here anyway? Everything I've seen so far is showing DJI. If we just go to iFlight.com, because they could be on here. I'm not seeing them. But, yeah, you know. Yeah, no, not really seeing him. So let's just wait and see. You know, I wouldn't expect to be seeing them myself either. It's quite funny. I'm not really sure if I've upset a bunch of people, or there was a point where there was loads of stuff going on, and now I haven't heard from anyone. I don't really hear from brands anymore. I've got very few brands who are even reaching out at the moment, whether it's, I don't know if China's slowed down. FPV has definitely gone quieter. That's for sure. Let's put the chat back up. You know, it was crazy at one point, but at the moment, I've probably upset enough of them that people don't really want to. I've not heard from iFlight for ages and ages. Lots of import issues. Yeah. Does anyone know if a gimbal can be cleaned? Absolutely can be cleaned. Ah, yeah. Picture with the drone deals. Yeah, that makes sense. Things have definitely slowed in China. 100%. You know, it's really weird right now. It's really weird right now. You know, you're just not hearing much coming through. Doesn't mean stuff isn't. There's some really cool stuff coming on. Today I've been messing with this just to show you guys this. I don't know if anyone can identify this. Does anyone know what this is? What frame this is? Yes, there's a Voltara in there, and yes, there's a Kiss Ultra. No, it's not a Vani. This is the Low Flow HD. It is, Joseph. You are correct. I've been building this up. I was doing this just before the stream. I'm just starting to get it built up. It does have a Voltara ESC in it. Let me just refocus. There you go. I really like this frame. It reminds me of my old Thug build. I really do like it. It's tight as hell. Tight as hell. Honestly, Jesus, there's not a lot of space in there. As you see, I've had to go vertical with the wiring off the ESC, which is always a bit of a challenge in itself. I've had to crimp it down as tight as I can. We've then got rubber standoffs with the Kiss Ultra on the front. You can get a Vista in the back. I decided to go with a Vista, and I've managed to cram the Express RS receiver down there behind the Vista. The reason I'm putting a Vista in this is I don't really need recording, and I have a spare one, so I'll just run it on the Goggles too. That's the reason. I want 100 frames a second camera. I've ran out. I would have put an Avatar VTX in this if I had one on the bench. I just don't have one on the bench, and I couldn't be bothered to tear a quad apart to take one out. So I decided to go with the Vista because I had a spare Vista sitting here. So I thought I'll use the Vista. But yeah, so I'm just in the process of building it up. I've got to tidy it all up yet. It's not been tidied. This is just laying everything out. There's no camera in it yet. Someone asked about the width of the camera plates. They're over 20. It's a cool design as well, the way the top plate goes on. Camera plates are 21.83. It's a very, very nice looking frame, actually. So, yeah, I just need to get this finished over the next couple of days. Why KISS? Because I'm doing some testing on a lot of ESCs actually at the moment, and Voltara very kindly reached out and asked if I wanted to take a look at one of theirs, which I jumped at because I think that. And I'm doing a test with KISS and with Betaflight. So I want to test it on both. So I'm going to try it on both. Yeah, I haven't installed the capacitor yet. I haven't got that far. I've got the power cables on. I have no idea where I'm going to put the bloody capacitor, if I'm honest. I haven't figured it out. I ended up going vertical on the power cables, which is never easy to do. I'm never that comfortable going vertical, but I had to go vertical because there's just no space there at all. But it's really it's a really tidy frame. I really like it. And I tell you what I really like. Let me just actually let's go on autofocus for this. The way this all comes together. So if you haven't seen this, this is actually really quite cool. I haven't figured out even where I'm gonna put this yet. But when this goes in like this and locks in like that, and then you screw it down, and then there's a screw that goes there with a post that goes there and a screw that goes there. It's a really low deck height. Really low deck height. I'm going to have trouble with a battery strap, that's for sure. But I loved my really low deck height Thug FPV quad. I'll cast replay. Take it easy. That is thick. That's one I had laying around. What is it? 12 gauge, 12 AWG. But yeah. It is a really nice frame. Genuinely, it is a really nice frame. I've now just got to figure out an antenna amount. I'm assuming, do they have 3D prints? I haven't even looked at it yet. I'm assuming there's 3D prints. Yeah, it genuinely is a really nice looking frame. It's, if you go on the website, it's this one here. Low Flow HD by Mike X. It's a very, very nice looking piece of kit. It really is. I tell you something, one of the easiest frames to put together. There was a little bit of a quirk I had with this little piece at the front here, down in there, which I'll show you in a second. But yeah, it's short standoffs. Yeah. There's a piece of extra carbon that goes in there. I got an extra screw that's got to go into a standoff. I had to take it off a minute. But yeah, I just got to figure out now where I mount the cap, because I'm really not sure. Yeah, I'll probably put the cap behind this side on a wire. I just don't like them on a wire, but it's gonna have to. I'll generally, yeah, the arms actually lock together inside in the middle. So all of the arms have, let me just show you this. The arms have this pattern, like an S shape on the end of them. Can you see on this image here, right? They have this cutout on the end of the arms, and they all lock together. It's really quite nice. Really quite nice indeed. So they lock together in the center, and it's hard to show you under the plate. Half moon cutout, yeah, and they all lock in under there. It's really quite nice. Really, really quite nice. I just got to figure out the ins and outs of where I'm going to put everything. Motor-wise, I got some... I'm probably going to go with a set of T-motors I've got here, which are... It's FPV's 2208s, because I've got a spare set. I don't have many spare sets of motors. I was tempted to put Ross's motors on it, if I'm honest. but they're a bit big for this. I think they might be a little bit, maybe a little bit aggressive for this quad. But I have a full set of 2208s from its FPV. They're probably what I'm going to go with, which are made by T-Motor. They're a really nice motor. I've also got here some, what else have I got? Let me just find it. I've lost a box. I do have something else here as well. That's weird. Where have they gone? Someone else very kindly sent me some motors as well. Your FPV, but I just can't find the box. I can't remember what they were. Not them. I'm in a bit of a mess here at the moment. I'm in the middle of having a tidy up in the workshop, and I've moved stuff around, and now I can't find anything. I know for a fact I've got a set of motors here from your FPV because they very kindly sent them to me. I just don't know where they've gone. I'm actually annoyed at the fact I can't see them now. What the fucking hell have I done with them? It's a box. I'm looking for the box. I can't see the box. That's the bit that's confusing me. Weird. That's strange. I'm going to have to go hunting. The box has vanished. Gaffy did send me some motors. He's an amazing guy. He is an amazing guy. And I had a box from him of stuff, and it's been sitting here with stuff I've been pulling out of it. They're incredible. What's annoying me is it was there, and now it's not there. That's the bit that's annoying me. That's weird. Thing is, I had a huge tidy up here the other day, so things have all got moved around. What has happened to that? Why has it vanished? That's weird. That's weird. I am 99%. I didn't fit them, have I? Wait a minute. I'm just trying to think now. Have I built them on a quad, and that's why I can't see them? I'm just looking around. 1 second. No. I am 99% sure he sent me some motors from your FPV. I'm sure they're ecos. So, but anyway, look. It will either be the motors from there. It just... Why is the box vanished? That's the bit I don't understand. I am in the middle of having a bit of a tidy up in here. Genuinely, I am. So, I'm in the middle. But no, look. So, this is really nice. So, I'm planning to get this ready this week and then get it out. Really nice indeed. And if you haven't seen, and this is going to lead us on nicely to something actually. So, if you haven't seen, this has the Voltara ESC, which is this one here. Now, this ESC, as you can see here, it's very nice, rated at 70 amps, all nice and good. Pads on the top, castellated pads on the power, non-castellated on the sides because the motor pads go just on the sides. They don't go underneath as well. The FETs on the bottom go all the way to the edge. You've got individual current sensors on each ESC. You can see a shunt resistor on each one. And you've got your motor drivers on the top and bottom, all looking really, really nice. Now, for those who haven't seen, right, this was involved in this. Now, this video is a demonstration, and Stu spoke about this, of the power of this ESC. Now, this build looks insane. I don't know what frame it is. I don't think it's based on Ross's frame. I could be wrong. If it is, let me know. I don't know what the frame design is. But this... I'm going to give you system audio as well. Naught to 300 kilometers. 391 kilometers. Kiss Ultra. I did see a comment the other day that someone said a couple of days ago that I wish the flight had been longer. Don't think there was anything left on the battery. They are brave doing that over water as well, because there was no chance of that coming back. If something had gone wrong, it was game over. I get why you do these things over water, but looking behind them is they've got a lot of mountains. What's the battery voltage? Where's the battery milliamp hour consumed? 1543. Is the minimum cell showing down at 22.8? Look at that camera angle. Just to watch that again. Now, I want to see the current draw. Right, so 223 amp. 320. 500. I'm shocked that pack never went on fire. There was over 500 amp. That's insane. That there. But that's going through the ESC. So there's two of those ESCs. So it's got to be... So if we look... So there must be two Voltaras in here, I'm guessing, if anyone can confirm. I'm guessing there's two Voltaras in there. I might want to buy some of those batteries. Amp count is on the right-hand side, fourth one from the bottom. And yes, two Voltaras. Yeah, I was going to say, there's got to be two in there. So everything is split across. That is just insane. If we just look at some of these numbers here a minute. So at the punch out, they've consumed 700 milliamp hour. At the punch out. 300, over 400 amp. So that is... Okay, so at 500... So what were we talking? What was the maximum current rate in? What do we get? We got 5... Okay, so it's 532. So that's 250 amp, 260 amp, 265 amp an ESC. Jesus, divide that by 4. I tell you something. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And just look, what gets me is how long it takes to get back. So look how long it took to get out there, right? This is the bit that got me, right? So how long it took to get out. So there they stop and turn around. And then look how long it takes to actually get back. And the distance. It's just crazy. Just crazy. They had the GoPro on super wide, didn't they? And that's carrying a GoPro, by the way. But yeah, you're on the limit of the ESC there, aren't you? That camera angle is insane. Of the GoPro, at least. I mean, what's the FPV angle like? Yeah, look. Ooh, there's not a lot in it. Look at the GoPro. So when you look at the GoPro up front, the FPV is not a lot different. Full-size Hero 11 as well, look. 2-blade props. Very cool. Notice the connectors. Octo as well, yeah. Yeah, that's an absolute beast. Absolute beast. They got GPS on this somewhere, haven't they? Yeah. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Just crazy. Absolutely crazy. You can see the camera angle on the FPV is a little lower. What, were you flying analog? Was this analog, do we know, or was it digital? I'm intrigued. Because there's no reason to have digital on this, let's be honest. 10th of the power draw on the way back. Yeah. Just incredible. Just incredible. And, yeah, analog, I thought it would be. And again, remember, this ESC was what was behind that. 2 of these, I should add. So, very cool. Very cool indeed. Very cool indeed. There's some good stuff happening with ESCs in the private side of things right now. There is some really good stuff happening with ESCs on the private side. And when I mean private side, not open source, closed. People doing some cool stuff. I need to figure out where I get the 3D prints for this. Are they listed anywhere? Can someone tell me? I'm assuming, are they on Thingiverse or something? There's got to be 3D prints for it. I need mounts for the camera, so there's got to be TPU prints I need to get done. Chris has... obviously, Chris Ross has got his... his sort of version of this. Chris has asked me a couple of times to have a look at his. I need to do it. I haven't had a lot of time. It's not that I'm avoid doing it. Chris has asked me to have a look at the HS5. He was going to send me a pre-built one to try, and I'll send it back when I'm turned it into pieces. That's the worry. But and Trappy thinks offset FETs are not good. Until he made an ESC with offset FETs. But yeah, Chris has got his version of this type of thing as well if you want to build one. And it's not badly priced. People said this was expensive. I didn't think this was expensive. I'm sorry if it's expensive, then you don't want to build something crazy, stupid like this. But not saying it. I'm not saying it. It's the Diggler of drones. We're not going there. We're not going there. But yeah, so very cool. Very, very cool indeed. So I'm going to be testing this. The build will be finished this week. And then I'm going to get it into the era and give it a test as well. So, yeah. With regards to TBS, we still have no news on the new wing. I don't know when it's coming. No news yet. Their power delivery board is out there. People can buy it now. Just on a point, because me being a dick, TBS made a lot of fuss about Gorilla Mount, yet they released their new ESC, and what did they do? I'm not saying I don't like Gorilla Mount. I actually quite liked it. But I'm just saying. Just saying. If you're going to make statements and go down a road of saying, you know, this is better because of this, or we want to do this with that, then it's really a bit weird to go flip-flopping back. And this is a nice-looking ESC. My only criticism of this will be the same criticism I give of the other one, which I wish it had castellated pads. I do think it would benefit. Maybe not benefit, but I would prefer castellated pads on this ESC. If you've got pads on both sides, I think they should be castellated. There is stress points on the board here when you don't have castellation. You can start to rip the pad, especially on the battery one. Now, that's not to say it will ever happen. But the battery pads, and look, they've probably got a lot of wires that go through as well. But still, I think it's a nice looking ESC. It's bloody cheap. What you can't knock is TBS for their pricing. $60. Justin, you know, they really are smashing it out the park with pricing. They really, really are. There's some good hardware around right now. Truth of the matter is, there is some really, really good parts. There's some real quality hardware out there. Whether you look at the Voltara, whether you're looking at the TBS Lucid. There was something that I missed on my Lucid review, though. And I'm a bit annoyed at this because I found it afterwards, because I did the build sort of as I finished the video, because it wasn't really a review, it was an overview, but I did miss something on the TBS. Oh, has that got the motors in? The Lucid build. What did I build the Lucid into? Oh. It's coming to me. Wait a minute. There is a build here. I did use the motors. He did send me motors and I've used them. It's in the OpenIPC build. It's the OpenIPC quad. He did send me motors and I used them. I forgot what build it was in. It was in the OpenIPC build, which I haven't flown yet. I haven't had time. This is on my list to go out now. This is with the Mario AAO. But he did send me motors. They're on this. They were Zings, Ecos. Very big thank you. But yes, I've just remembered. But yeah, there was one complaint I had with Lucid, and I missed it in my initial review, and that is the spacing to the ESC here. So let me just show you this. This, and you can see it here. This here, right here, is incredibly tight. It may not look it in this render, right? But when you are actually soldering to this, and you can see it there, is there a better angle? No, there isn't. It is insanely tight on the wiring to this post. It's a little bit worrying. And you've got to be really careful. And what you've actually got to do is roll your cables in towards the middle a little bit more. I've been trying to contact you through your email on your wiki, but no avail. I haven't seen anything. I do check my emails, and I have it should be working. But what was it about is the question, and I'll let you know. But yeah, so you just need to be careful on it. Would it matter? It's aluminium. You still don't want to touch aluminium. If it touches, you'll still short. So it's about touching the ground. The negative's fine, really. Is it about his extended warranty? Yes, so maybe insulate the, yeah, it's far closer. Action 4 or Action 5? MCFPV is asked, Action 4 or Action 5? Now, I haven't tried the Action 5, but I have seen a number of bad reports from people using the Action 5 in FPV and getting a lot of vibration. Now, I don't know if there is anyone here who has one and has tried it in an FPV situation on a quad. But my understanding is a lot of jello that they can't get out, and it's affecting the gyro flow. The Action 4 is fine. This seems to only hit the Action 5. I don't know how true it is. Livy FPV has one. Have you seen this? I've not tried it myself, but I've seen 2 reports of it now, and I have 0 jello. Okay, interesting. So whether it's setup issues or not, this is the problem. It's always hard to judge because you got people saying, you know, have I tried both, this and that. Genuinely, I'm not sure what the benefit is of the Action 5 for FPV. I would probably try and get the Action 4 on discount if I was you. However, as much as I say this, I think the GoPro is a better camera. I still think the GoPro is a better camera. Everything still puts the GoPro ahead, but they might not be in business in the next 6 months. So I don't know. I think the GoPro is still the better option overall. But if you get a GoPro, don't get the new one. Get the last model. It is the same camera. It is a rip-off. Don't buy the new GoPro. The new one is basically the old one in a new shell, so you have to go out and buy all new accessories. Do not buy the 13. Get the 12. The 12 is the same camera. Yeah, only problem is that the 11, 12, and 13 is the same hardware. 100%. Yeah, 100%. You may as well get the 11, the 12, the 13. You know, do not get the 13. The 13 is a blatant rip up getting more money from people. But GoPro are in very, very, very real trouble. I talked about this on last week's video. It's a shame because I do think GoPro still is the better camera. I've said this a number of times. I wish Sony would buy GoPro. I think the best home for GoPro would be Sony. Genuinely, I think a brand like Sony will turn GoPro inside out, shut half of it down in the US, but then they could really sort of bring it in with their camera world as well. GoPro is in serious trouble, and it is hemorrhaging money, and there is no out for that right now. So there is a risk buying GoPro. There is a risk buying GoPro. Pro Ace 2, it's a big camera. I will be honest, right? I watched a few reviews of the Pro Ace 2, and one of them is Captain Drones, and I'm not going to comment on what I think about his reviews. It's better I don't, because I'll say something he probably won't like. However, I watched some of his footage on the Ace Pro 2, and it did look really nice. The night footage, let me just show you this. The night footage, or the early evening footage, did look very, very nice. It looked really nice. But it's a heavy camera. It's a big old camera, this. We've got to go past adverts. 9 in the drawer, 3 is fine. Cool. He showed some evening... Where is it where the sun was going down? He showed some night footage. This looks really nice. When you look at this, a little soft, I will add, although what the resolution am I in here? Yeah, let's get this up to 4K. A little soft, but it did look very nice in the early evening shots. I liked the overall colouring. It did look pretty good from a colouring perspective. What I have seen with DJI is the Action 5 seems to, I don't know, over-process. Action 4 deals I would go for right now. Action 4 seems to be the sweet spot, if I'm honest. Hero 11 Mini, for sure. Get YouTube Premium. I have a bugbear. I can see myself paying for Premium. I have a bugbear. My bugbear is this. YouTube takes so much money from me for AdSense, right? I should get Premium for free. As a famous, internationally recognized, celebrated creator, as an unknown, right? And as they take pretty much 80% of everything I get, I think they should give me Premium for free. Genuinely. I think as a creator, if you get, I don't know, if you're on AdSense and you generate more than, I don't know, £50 in revenue, £100 in revenue, they should give you Premium. But no, they strip me of all the money and they don't give me Premium. But you are right, I should buy Premium. I cancelled my Spotify, so I might pay for Premium. Yeah, and I have mentioned this before, KP, about I will not use an ad blocker, period. And the reason for this is this. Ads are the only way I actually bring in some money on this channel other than the Super Chats and the Patreons. The Patreons are incredible. I would not be able to do this without the support of the Patreons. Patrons are the most important thing in the world, although I'm terrible to them. But ad revenue is also important as well. Okay? If I use an ad blocker, I'm stopping someone else getting ad revenue. So I will generally watch the adverts. I will always go through it because that's how we get paid. DJI shill money. Yes. So YouTube Premium because YouTube Music. Yeah, which is pretty good. Yeah. So I need to get that done. Okay, now, before we go into Q&A, some other things we've got to do. So, what else have I seen this week? A couple other things I wanted to talk about. And I've lost the screen with it on. Where is it? Right, this is, and maybe, the most amazing little thing that I've seen. Now, this was posted on my Discord server. And this is called what's potentially the smallest EdgeTX RC. It's called the EdgeTX Nano. I don't know who this is. It's some Chinese person. This is just insanely cool, right? So it looks like they've built it from the display of a smartwatch and made the tiniest remote controller in the world. And this thing is just insane. Just look at it. That is just sick. It's incredible. Now, the reason I say it looks like it's a smartwatch display, because you can see it's rounded, and it also looks like the glass is rounded as well. It's just so cool. It really, really is. Just so cool. Just. Now, there are some seriously clever people out there. There's no info to say where you can buy it. There's no one. He's not trying to sell it. It's this YouTube channel here. It's just Liang. That's it. I don't know what the intention is. They've also done some really cool other stuff like robots. So they've posted a video of him making a robot as well, which is quite cool. It's got a face on it. So it's someone obviously in China doing or Japan, I'm not sure where, doing Japan. Robotics, very, very cool. Very, very cool indeed. Someone's gonna go far. Someone is really, really gonna go far. I've got recommended on my own live stream. Look at that. That's quite funny. Very cool indeed. But I just thought I'd share that because I thought that was just insane. Where could we sell one of them hooked to Express RS? That would be cool, wouldn't it? That would be cool. Okay. Let me check the doc. Now, if you have any questions, now's the time. Jesus, there's 466 of you people here. Hello. Welcome. I didn't realize that was that many people. Hello. Welcome. I'm trying to check. I haven't forgotten anything. Right. Laserbeast, right. You should be able to send me an email or hop on to... Are you on Discord? Right, let me just check the doc. Did I miss anything? No. Covered that. Yes. Look at all you people here. Hello. Hello from Poland. Hello. Message me on Discord is the best way to get hold of me. No, not on Discord. Right, do me a favour. Send me an email now after the show, and I'll go and check tonight, and I'll go through everything and see if I can find where it's been hiding. Any Open IPCs update? Any Open IPC update? Unmanned said weighing link will be available for purchase in the coming week. No, I've not had a chance. Look, this is the big problem with Open IPC. I've been very busy with some family stuff and some stuff at home, and I've not read anything for a couple of weeks. And now I'm going to have to spend a month catching up on what's changed. Because something has changed, so I'm going to have to go and have a look at where it's at. I do also need to have a look at Ruby as well, Ruby FPV. It's not that I'm ignoring it. It's just I can't look at too many things at the same time. I don't have the time at the moment to look at 50 or 60 things. I'm taking more time to do things today than I used to in the past. In the past, I could bang out 4, 5, 6 videos a week. It's not possible for me to do that right now. There are reasons for that, but it's not possible. I've got a backlog of stuff that I'm working through, and I basically through it now. And once I get back through that, I probably will be at DJI 04. I've got to have a look at this. Do you know what? I've not even had a chance to look at this yet, and I should apologise. Runcam sent me this. So Runcam sent me the Thumb 2 about a month and a half ago. The problem is, when they sent it to me, it didn't have gyroflow support, so I had time to look at it when they sent it, and then there was no gyroflow profiles for it. Now, I assume the gyroflow profiles are available for the Thumb 2 now, because they weren't when they launched it. And now I can go and have a look and try it. And I've done some footage on this, but I want to try the gyroflow profiles so I can have a proper look. I don't think there's anything particularly incredible here with it. I think it's okay. I'll be honest, I've not tried one of these cameras yet that's impressed me. None of these have really gone, oh, it's better than having 03. Yeah, soft mount is always a key on these. I remember trying the Thumb Pro, and the Thumb Pro was insane. In fact, I never released the video on the Thumb Pro because it vibrated so much. It's weird, right? Every time someone has sent me a small camera, there's been issues. And what I mean by this is this. Cadex sent me the Walnut quite a long time ago, and I never released the review on it because they made it and then they sent out a message saying there's been some problems with the firmware. We're going to release new firmware to fix them before you publish your videos. And it basically meant everything that I'd done was a waste of time. And at that point, my attitude is you can sod off. Because I am not redoing an entire review after doing it with a second set of firmware. Because it's just, I haven't got time for that. And I said, if I have time, I'll go back and look at it. But if I've built a review and then you change everything, that's just BS to me, that is. And when they sent this out, it's a great little looking camera, but there was no profiles for gyroflow, which meant I couldn't import the footage, which meant I was a waste of time. And it just annoys me that you get this, that they'll send these things out and they'll go, oh, yeah, but it's not ready yet, or oh, we haven't got a profile yet, or we're going to release new firmware, or we're going to do this. And it's like, well, I need to get on with it, you know? You don't mind if it's sent for testing. If you're told, oh, this is a test product, would you mind having a look? Yeah, that's different. But is the iFlight goggle analog? I believe so, yes. I still think Runcom should do an updated orange. Is it possible that the Skyzone 04X Pro HDMI input supports 1080p 60 in addition to the listed 720p 100? No. I'm not aware it does 1080p 60. It could, perhaps it does, but I'm not aware of it. So many problems are lacking. But Stu just put a video out on the thumb. Stu put one out to have a look. Look, where I think these get interesting is on really small drones. But DJI has really kicked the arse of that with O3. Moonlight is pretty good on Avatar as well. It's not perfect. It's not DJI. But I would say Moonlight is probably very close to this, if not a little bit better. So then you have to ask yourself, what's the point? It is at the stage where these cameras are almost not worth it now. This is the problem. It's would be good for a Cinelogue 20. Yes, something like that. I wish I was in my early 30s. Jesus Christ. Jesus, yes. I have up on them since 03. Gave up on them since 03. Yeah, analog quads, you are right. Yeah. Might well just have 03. You don't look a day over 50. 04 will definitely make them not worth it. O4 and the Avata 2 is just so lush. Yeah, exactly. I just want the O4 camera to work with the O3E unit. I wouldn't get your hopes up on that one. Now, a bit of an off-topic subject. Now, if you do have any questions, put them in the chat below. While I'm going to do this, I'm going to do some shilling. I have a Patreon and I have a Buy Me a Coffee. Please consider supporting the Patreon if you don't know. I want to say a massive thank you to all of my Patreons. I would not be able to do this without their support. You are incredible. You are amazing. You guys are just incredible. So many people who support the channel. There's a bunch of people who come and go. You get people join and then you get people leave. I don't do enough on Patreon in the sense of, look, I don't offer a great deal, but you're supporting the channel. And that's what Patreon is all about. If you want to support me, it is there and it's available to people. So I just want to say a huge thank you if you want to consider supporting us. I just showed the EdgeTX Nano. It was that little remote. Can I use my DJI RC3 with the Neo? Yes, I think so. I'm trying to remember what the Neo supports. It supports FPV Remote 3 and RC3. Hey, Stu. Yeah, I loved you did a good video, Stu, on it. You really did. Totham asking, any news on 04 Inav OSD? I discussed that earlier in the stream. I hear it will have support. Do I know anything about Foxy has stopped selling drone frames? No. I've heard all sorts about... Look, there seems to be some stuff going on in China. RC3 needs for Goggles 3 to work, though. Yes, you cannot fly acro mode without FPV Remote 3. I'm new to FPV. Should I invest in OpenIPC or OpenHD? Neither of them are for new users. If you're new to FPV and you want to get into it cheap, go with analog. Don't go with digital. Go with analog. Any news about 04 Lite? It exists. Lots of things. Lots of things I can't say, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, but I am at threat of gunpoint. I would just, though, make sure you have plenty of 1S batteries, is all I'm going to say. We need the weights of 04. Oh, you have to wait for that. But what would you prefer in the long run? Well, OpenHD still doesn't have hardware, so I haven't tried OpenHD. I think it's a great project, but OpenIPC has a little bit of hardware. But OpenIPC, neither of these are ready. Neither of these are ready for the public. The amount of learning you will need to do if you're new to FPV, you don't need that on top of learning to FPV. I wouldn't say either of them are ready for anyone who's new to FPV. They're not ready to be used. They can be used. They are absolutely usable. They are not consumer ready. You're going to have to learn to fly before you want to even get in those systems. There's no frame that fits it nicely. It's not a product for anyone new. Have you done any CNC cutting? Yes and no. I have, but I'm still having problems with their software, so I'm probably going to give up because I can't tell the software to do what I want it to do. In my opinion, which is the best 5-inch frame? That's complicated because define best. So, best value, I would say, is the Mario 5. I think overall the Mario 5 is astonishing value for what it is. My favorite 5-inch, genuinely, I would be leaning on either the FPV frame, because I really like it, and depending on how this flies, this. And I tell you what, there is something you will notice I'm saying which is similar between the two things I'm saying, and that is because I actually like small frames. I like a compact frame, not the longer ones like the Roma, and the Nazgul is really good, but it's a longer frame. But the Mario 5 is silly cheap for what it is. Yeah, Apex 5 copy. But I think if you said to me, what do you want to build as your like best favorite quad? I like shorter frames. So I'd be talking about things like the FPV frame that, yeah, I do like a shorter frame. That's different. But if you're talking about bando bashing, a different frame again. They're all different. You know, a lot of these frames are not really geared up for bando bashing. Why does DJI Goggles range specification at 10 kilometers, but we start losing signal after 1 kilometer? The catch is the environment you're flying in. Remember, RF is as good as the area you're flying. How much line of sight do you have? How much RF interference is there around you? What's the antenna like on the quad? Are you flying around buildings where there's Wi-Fi? 10 kilometers, RF is... It is, if you can stand up on top of a mountain, right, with nothing around and fly, you'll get the maximum range. You take it down into your town, you're going to get a tenth of that. A tenth of it. Because environment is everything. See, FCC mode, yes and no. So, Mr. Anderson is right. That C versus FCC, that is important if you are in a congested area. Non-congested, it really won't make that much difference. But correct, as Mr. Anderson has said, are you flying in the EU? If you are at a much lower power level, and as a result of that, you want to do the ham file hack. if you are in the EU or in CE mode. I have a video on it. Go check it out. Hello, Robert. The Era and the Apex both stack up cheap. For motor connectors for 2 to 4 inch drones, these are lightweight. No, there are some small 3-pin ones out there. I don't really use motor connectors, so I'm not the best person to answer that. I tend to solder. I tend to just prefer to solder for the time it takes. I do like the idea of being able to plug and unplug, but I'd just be getting some 3-pin, whatever's available. The thing with RF is this, right? So, look, I saw someone post, actually, this is quite interesting because this was posted today on Facebook. Let me bring it up. Okay, and this was a comment around the Avatar HD. It's come straight up. So here it is, look. What happened to the new system with 4 times the range or whatever they promised that would come out last August? And they were talking about the new system, which is meant to come from Cadex with 4 times the range. Now, first of all, remember, the spec range of the Avatar HD system is 4 kilometers. So when Cadex said 4 times the range, they're talking 16 kilometers. We already know people are flying well beyond 16 kilometers on Avatar HD. When it comes to range specification, these things are a lot of the time done theoretically. Cadex saying 4 times the range, this is likely as a result of the new chipset they're going to use, switching from a single transmitting antenna to 2 transmitting antennas. Because there is MIMO gain as a result of having more antennas that transmit. And as a result of that, they are able to say 4 times the range. Now, Cadex are going to get themselves into a bit of a mess with this because they've told everyone it's going to have 4 times the range. But people are expecting 4 times the range of what they're getting today. Now, if they're flying 2 kilometers, they're going to expect that they're going to get 8 kilometers. The fact of the matter is, you won't get that much of an improvement. Even if you shift up to a fully multi-in, multi-out system, you might see 5% improvement. Theoretically, yes, you might get 4 times the range in the perfect conditions. But that doesn't mean the average person is going to get it. And this is where you're going to have problems with people when Cadex eventually release this new system. Now, when it comes to digital, there are multiple factors that affect range. So number one is the noise floor, as Livia said there. So what is the noise floor of the RF environment you're in? How much background noise is there? Because your signal is trying to be heard by your goggles. And I always use this really simple analogy, right? Think of being in a room with 20 people talking, your mate's across there, and he's trying to tell you something. That is what your transmitter and your receiver is trying to do. He's trying to get a message across that room with everybody talking. Now, the options you have is, the closer you are to your mate, the easier it will be to hear him. But if you still need to be further away, what are the 2 options? The 2 options are, get everyone in the room to talk quieter so you can hear what he says, or get him to talk louder. Quieter is reducing the noise floor. Louder is more RF power. But the facts remain, the basics still apply, that you're trying to hear a signal over a distance. There's a minimum level that can be heard, and there are situations where your signal will come through good, and there are situations where your signal will be drowned out by the background noise, and that is why you get such a difference in behavior. And that noise floor difference can literally be 5 or 10 dB. The difference between the noise floor being listenable and not listenable can be 5 to 10 dB. Don't think when your drone is even 100 meters away, the signal is really loud. It isn't. Now to explain chip spread technology. Right, so my mate, no, I'm not going to even do there. He blinks very fast. But yeah, look, the noise floor is key. So any Wi-Fi, any CCTV, any cordless phones. All of this stuff will have an impact. Have I heard anything about the Nomad module? I ordered it at the beginning of October and I haven't any updates. Look, I'm hearing weird things about the Nomad. I've got people who've ordered it and they've received it, and I've got people saying they haven't had it. I would speak to Radio Master and ask them what's going on, because if you've ordered it, it should be coming. Also, the type of noise. Oh, yes. Look, the worst kind of noise for RF. The worst kind of noise for RS. He has a really annoying, distinct, long, slow, whiny voice. Yeah. The is what we call burst noise. So you get this burst and spike kind of noise. You get it from things like thermostats opening and closing. You get it from electrical interference, so sparking, arcing, switching gear. That is the worst kind of interference noise. Nukes. Yeah. And there's a great video that I watched, and this was scary, actually. I should find this and post it. It's a video about a guy tracking down noise on radio bands for communications, you know, PMR type style radios. And he was doing a hunt, and in this area there was just this noise being transmitted all the time. And he tracked it down to this, I think it was like a cement factory or something like this. And it turned out they had a repeater on site for repeating the local radios. And something quirky had happened with the repeater, and it started just pumping out all of this wide spectrum noise. And all they did was turn it off, turn it back on, and it went away. But it's just crazy what is out there and what makes a lot of noise. It'll all have an impact. Yes, you can. Yeah, you know, look, there's a lot of noise even around me here. We might, you know, when I fire up the spectrum analyzer. Yeah, you know, it's across the board of this noises, and that's where it gets. Urban environments. Yeah, you'd be shocked how much is out there. You really would. And you can't really see it with like the cheap spectrum analyzer, the handheld ones. You need something which is sensitive enough and fast enough to show you what's going on, because especially when it comes to some of this more complex noise that it's very fast pulse noise, that stuff is really hard to sort of get the grip of what's going on. For anyone interested in learning about some interest in his passive intermodulation, yeah, you get some really weird stuff as well. You can get some really weird stuff. You will be surprised what can get modulated and pushed out on an RF band, even as a result of like a mains cable, or some, you know, you can get lengths of coax start becoming antennas for other systems. You get some really weird stuff happen. You can even get like your mains cables in your house start to transmit if there's enough RF around something and it's close enough and it's at the right wavelength, because you've got a piece of wire that's the right length. You know, radio is a black art at the best of times. Any 7-inch frames for long range? Was thinking 7-inch. I don't know that many 7-inches. I think there's a new one coming out. I'm not 100%. Ross's is about the only ones. The sync mode frames look good. I've not tried them, but they do look good. Range X, apparently. 8 is the new 7. I'm sure there's a new 7-inch frame coming out I can't talk about, so that could be interesting. Impulse RC, yes, they make some good frames. Look, there's loads of good frames out there. Look, genuinely, there aren't that many bad ones. The truth of the matter is most frames are good. Right. Before we finish this one up, I want to end on an interesting but off to the side subject. How many of you guys there have electric mountain bikes? I'm intrigued. I'm looking to get myself an electric mountain bike. And I spent an inordinate amount of time over the last few days looking at things. And do you know what? For those who remember, DJI actually got into this market with AM Flow. And no, I'm not buying one because they are insane money. And what's quite interesting is when you look at the AM Flow, oh, that one there, you think, oh, this is all very interesting, very expensive and cool, but DJI are a very nasty company, and they won't really fit into that world, especially the way they behave. However, much to my dismay, Jesus, the way some of these e-bike companies behave, and I'm talking about Bosch and Shimano, right? They make DJI look downright freaking reasonable at times. Honestly, this thing is insane money. This thing is insane money. I don't have that. Look, I'm looking at probably a last year's model on sale, as cheap as I can find one. But what I found was really interesting is just how locked up and tight the e-bike industry is with regards to the manufacturers on the motors, the electronics, and the systems. Honestly, I'm astonished at some of the behavior from the likes of Bosch and Shimano. For instance, Shimano's, you have to take your bike to a dealer to have it updated, right? The Bosches, basically, you've got to beg them for anything. It seems Bafang is meant to be a good brand. And Yamaha seem to be pulling out of the e-bike motor industry. But yeah, I'm not going to get into an AM Flow. It's insane money. But I'm just intrigued. But what surprised me is just how closed it is. I'm actually looking at a Cube. One of the bikes I'm actually looking at is a Cube that's on sale. With the Bosch. I'm probably going to go with the Bosch. Gen 4. Probably. But, yeah, quite a crazy world. And here I thought DJI entering this world with all of their, we won't supply parts, all of their affiliate money, all of their, all of that. I thought, yeah, they're going to have a shock. And actually, the industry seems quite bad as it is, if I'm honest. Didn't have any issues. Yeah, water ingress definitely seems to be... Yeah, no, look, I want an off-road mountain bike is what I want. I don't want to build an electric e-bike for the road. I'm building an off-road mountain bike. So I'm not going to build one. I'm going to... Yeah, I have taken one out for a ride already. I've been on a couple of trails in the last couple of weeks. But I want one for a couple of uses. But yeah, it's... I'm not looking to freaking go crazy on the trails, but I am looking for... I've got a lot of areas round by me where I can sort of... Easy trailing is the term I'll use. For a fat middle-aged man. But it's interesting. The industry is very, very interesting. And it's going to be interesting to see how DJI actually make a splash on it. It's interesting world. Very, very interesting world. And I've been dipping my fingers into it in the last few weeks. So from this stream, you want something solid. Yeah, I don't want a conversion kit. I don't want a hardtail for starters. I want a full suspension. So I've already decided I want a full suspension. Is there a power limit in Europe? Yes, there is. Yes, there is a power limit. Boys and their toys. Yes. Yeah. 250 watts. Yeah, no, the limit's, I think, 250. Most of the like the Bosch is doing 885 newton meters of torque at the moment. iFlight goggles I did at the start. Build your own, no power limit. Well, you can get rid of the power limit on these as well. There's boxes that do that. I've seen that already. Yes, well, that's what I'm looking at the 750. I am looking at the Bosch 750. I'm not going to go for the 600. I want more power than spec quality of the bike. At least it's more than 25 milliwatts. I want more power quality. I'm going to go for the Bosch with the 750. Unless I can find a deal on a Gen 5 motor. But 600, I'm not interested in the 600. And I don't want to put an external battery on. I'm actually tempted, but you got to spend a lot more money to go for the 2025 model with the 800 watt. All the old men I fly with are breaking their asses on scooters in bandos this year. Yeah, look, I'm 2,400 watt. Yes, I'm not after an e-bike. I'm after just assisted. But yeah, it's just interesting. I just found it very interesting at the crossovers of behavior. You can hack them. You can unlock them. You can de-restrict them because they're restricted. Is it to 25 kilometers an hour? Funny enough, okay, so Adrian, you're talking about the bike I'm looking at. I have the Cube Stereo Hybrid 160 HPC Action Team. It's a bike you can ride anywhere in the UK long trips. Right, Adrian, I'm looking at the Stereo Hybrid either 140 or, yeah, the 140, I think it's the HPC. It's funny enough, that's what I've been looking at. Because there's some good deals on them at the moment for last year's models. Shocking. Tell you what is shocking is how much money bikes go down between each year's model. My God. The discounts are insane. Insane. Compared to, this year's model. It's like car price. It's worse than car prices. It's just bonkers. You're seeing like 5-6 grand bikes go down to like 3.5, some 4, but you're taking a couple of grand off them just because it's end of season. You're taking at least £1,000 off some of these bikes because it's end of season. It's crazy. Just shows the margin on it, doesn't it? The fact they're taking that much out of them at the end of the season. You would have thought the pricing wouldn't drop that much. You've actually got to be crazy to buy a model at the start of the season unless there's a specific reason. And that's the weird thing right now, because the one thing I'm looking at right now is Bosch have just introduced the Gen 5 motor with 800 watt power cell. Now, that is a good reason to buy a 2025 model, but you're paying for it. Bike market's in a bit of a slump as well. There's also post-COVID. Yeah, exactly as well. Moscow. Oh, yeah, you're talking 3 to 4 grand for a good e-bike. And I'm not even sure that's good. Hi Ian, I'm new to FPV. I've been wondering how people are able to fly in sports arenas as such for live stream TV. How do they get that range over such a big space with a lot of interference? It is complex. I helped involved in a HDZero event, and what you find is they are positioned pretty ideally for the environment they're in. You can have, there are controls on the RF environment as well. But also, it's a lot of time. You'll notice the pilots are generally straight down close to the track with directional antennas, and it's just enough to get it through. It's just enough to get it through. Prices can be insane. Hot tub sales everywhere. Yeah, Adrian, look, the 750s are all the last year's model. If I want the 800 with the Gen 5 motor, which is quieter, and it doesn't have... Do you have the rattle, Adrian, is the thing I'm interested in. If you know what I'm talking about. Do you have the rattle when you're not driving or on the pedals? Just by a motorcycle. Yeah, a lot of the places I want to go, you can't take a bike. You can't take a motorbike. You can get a brand new Dacia Sandero. Yes, you can. James May there in the comments. Right, gents, I'm going to wrap this one up there. I want to say a big thank you for spending time with me tonight. Thank you to everyone who supports the channel. Don't forget to check out Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, Discord, whatever. We should be back again, same time, same place next week. Look after yourselves, and I will speak to you soon.